Now listen, did you all ever see someone try to set fire to your whole reputation only to end up fumbling the match? Prince Harry just walked out of the burning building with his crown still polished, and it's giving I told you so realness. Welcome back to the Isabella Banks YouTube channel. It's your girl Weezy here, and today we're cracking open the real tea behind the Sentebale scandal. And child, it's piping hot. Quick reminder before we continue. Our community is actively working on a formal complaint against Sophie Chandauka for her role in the Sentebale controversy. As she is listed on the roll of solicitors in the UK, we're preparing to submit this complaint to the Solicitors Regulatory Authority. If you would like to contribute suggestions or comments to strengthen the draft, click the link in the comment sections below. The deadline for all input is 9th August 2025, so don't miss the chance to be part of this important action. So, you guys remember when Sophie tried to paint Prince Harry as some kind of royal Regina George, screaming racism, bullying, misogyny, misogynoir, like it was a remix of every possible tabloid trope from the last decade? Well, the UK Charity Commission has spoken, and what did they say? Not guilty, babes. Not today, Satan. They said no bullying, no misogynoir, no overreach, and definitely no harassment. Let me break it down for you because the press release was thicker than Meghan's full cover glow. The commission said the real issue was governance, particularly governance weakness. Poor internal policies, unclear delegation of duties. Basically, folks were running a charity with vibes and vibes alone. The Charity Commission also identified a lack of clarity around role descriptions and internal policies as the primary cause for weakness in the charity's management. I remember calling it in the video I published when this controversy first went public. And I had so many people in my comment section saying I shouldn't be so hard on Prince Harry and the board of trustees. Well, the results are out, and it's clear that there was a glaring case of weak governance. Otherwise, this charity commission wouldn't have reached this conclusion given the kind of attention that this case has attracted so far. If the governance was not weak, there is no way that Sophie would have been able to get away with that much. It's okay if we also hold our faves accountable. I mean, look at this person who left a comment for me saying, I wanted to caution against being too hard on the old board's lack of oversight. The information that has been coming out in drips and drabs paints quite a picture. She intimidated them into putting her into leadership, which was true. She sounds like she was resistant to any oversight. But usually within the rule of charity governance, there are boundaries for what the chair is able to do, what the trustees are able to do, and what the patron is able to do. Sort of like when you go to your job, everybody has their own job descriptions. From what the Charity Commission is describing right now, it just seems like everybody just did whatever without there being any defined role for any particular person, including the chair, which is part of what caused the problem because you can't say to someone, you did or you carried out action X. But why did you go so far without defining for that person before the person went into the job how far the person can go? So when the person goes overboard, the person can, and Sophie in this instance did argue back by saying, well, there is no clear guidance as to what I can or cannot do. So it's kind of a catch 22. If you don't provide the guidance, you find yourself in the kind of situation that the board of trustees found themselves in, is kind the short of the matter. The Charity Commission has criticized all parties to the dispute for allowing it to play out publicly and further concluded that the trustees' failure to resolve disputes internally severely impacted the charity's reputation and risked undermining public trust in charities more generally. In this case, This was where they kind of gave Sophie a slap on her wrist because she was the one who went and did a TV interview. Prince Harry only issued a statement confirming that he would be stepping down from his role as patron of Sentebale. She was the one who went on a an interview campaign against the founders of Sentebale, against the board of trustees, used that as an example of wide scale bullying, whereas it wasn't the truth. And I'm so glad that someone in the charity commission must have had a laugh when he read that and said, "You're talking nonsense." Anyway, they said all sides let the dispute go public, giving the tabloids a front row seat to the mess. But what is most important is that they found no bullying, no harassment, no misogyny, and yes, Sophie and Harry were both cleared of overreach. But anyway, we'll get to Sophie in a second. The charity has issued a regulatory action plan setting out steps the current trustees need to take, including to implement an internal dispute policy, aka the charity is going to be supervising the charity closely from here on out until they decide to step back from supervising the charity so closely to avoid any future conflicts like the one that just arose. The regulatory action plan also sets out the importance of the current trustees securing sufficient funding to enable the charity to deliver for its beneficiaries, aka the board of trustees needs to raise the required funds to take care of the beneficiaries for whom the charities was created in the first place. And that may be where Sophie may fall down because she may not be able to raise sufficient funds for the charity to continue, which may end up meaning that the charity will need to be closed down. So, what's missing here? Hmm? Yeah, money, honey. You see, the trustees had real concerns about how Sophie was handling the charity's finances, especially those high end consultants she brought in like it was a Fortune 500. And somehow the commission just skated over it. Prince Harry was reportedly unimpressed, and I don't blame him. According to the Times, he felt the commission was sitting on the fence. Quite honestly, so do we. Well, let me tell you, Prince Harry and Prince Cecil said bye, Felicia, to Sentebale, at least while Sophie is still holding the clipboard. But that doesn't mean that they're done. Harry says he's looking for new ways to support the kids in Lesotho and Botswana. Translation, new charity incoming, or maybe, just maybe, an Archewell Africa expansion. Clean slate, same mission, legacy unlocked. That would be fantastic. Now, Sophie, my girl, Miss Girl is still the chair of Sentebale, but for how long? Yeah, because the squad, yes, you and me, are not going to let this slide, are we? We are going to work on an official complaint to the Solicitors Regulatory Authority because she's still on the UK Solicitors role, and we want to make sure the title comes with accountability. The SRA takes things like this very seriously because even if she gets cleared for anything else, she cannot deny, and it cannot be denied, that she did not act in the best interest of the beneficiaries. And for someone who is a solicitor, she has a duty, whether in a public role, acting as a solicitor, or as someone who is qualified as a solicitor in her private life. Also, she has a duty to make sure that she's acting in the best interest of whatever role she's currently engaged in. So, yeah, the Solicitors Regulatory Authority will take a complaint against her very seriously. But the thing is, how effective will one complaint be? I could make the complaint on my own, and they would still have a duty to write to her and ask her to explain herself. And if she uses the right language, she can explain it away and it will get swept under the carpet the same way the Charity Commission has swept this under the carpet. So, no real repercussions for her. But If they're getting complaints from over 100 people, they will be forced to act. So, guys, let's participate in this action. The action would be get Sophie out of Sentebale campaign. It's something that you can use a burner email account to send a complaint to the SRA, and the SRA will have no choice but to open an investigation based on your email. And actions like this are why the smear campaign hasn't worked and why Prince Harry keeps winning, because truth plus receipts plus community, that's unstoppable. And if I were Sophie, I would be looking around for the next charity that I am going to take over in the hostile world, just the way I did Sentebale, because this one is not going to work. Phew! This has been a wild ride, but we made it out on the other side with clarity and clarity. Drop a comment if you are proud of the squad for standing firm. Are you down for the Get Sophie Out campaign? Let's talk about it in the comments. And while you're here, hit that like button, click subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss a drop of this good Sussex tea. Catch you next time right here on the Isabella Bax YouTube channel, where we serve news, sass, and truth on a silver platter.